Hi, I'm Jonathan from Some Talented People, and we're on episode 3 of Is Competition a Good Thing with Guy Danes and Dylan Solomon. And today, what we're looking at is a reframing of how we perceive the world, because what used to be competition may well now become collaboration, and we're going to discuss some ideas around that.
Good day. Welcome back. Nice to chat to you again, Jonathan and Guy. We're going to discuss in this episode competition versus collaboration. For me, in the industry I work in, exhibition and events, we've seen a lot more collaboration compared to competition because it is about survival and pooling resources to try and make bigger things happen under the current climate of we can't do our normal business. Well, what do people need? They need areas that need that, and how do we do that together as an industry? So collaboration, we've definitely seen a lot in certain sectors.
Guy?
Yeah, I think it was a natural progression because at the end of the day, and I'm looking locally but internationally, there is some obviously and I just talk B2B market because that's my area of speciality. There is some local collaboration, but the ego has fallen away, and people said, I've actually got to collaborate with my competitor or my number 3 competitor. Now I'm number 2 in the market, or I'm number 6 in the market, etc. The test over time is going to be relationship levels and the loyalty. If there is different opportunities and some stability, if we could use that word going forward. I think internationally, like people in UK or the States might be collaborating better with people in South Africa and vice versa, because they're not dealing maybe in the direct market. So there's collaboration in terms of maybe technology, product knowledge, information, etc. And that collaboration has, I believe, a good foundation has been laid. And
So,
I think, yep.
No, well, I was just thinking because, so I don't know it to be true, but what I hear is that China has put a lot of money into African infrastructure. Has any of that money reached South Africa?
Look, I don't really know because I don't follow that obviously that closely, but I understand that there is infrastructure being done, etc., and put in place. And look at that sort of level, a macro level. I think China is looking at Africa to be, a footprint for them in their overall economic and political
Ambitions, I
field.
suppose. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
because the thing that occurred to me was that, so in the business that my company does, which is web design and digital marketing and that sort of thing,
yeah,
there has long been a practice called white labeling, where effectively you get someone else to actually do the service, but it comes under your brand and you pay them a percentage or what have you of the work they do, or even pay their rate because they're cheaper than we are. And that extrapolates up. So you have big London advertising agencies use small companies like us to produce the thing, but charge the client 5 or 6 times that amount. So my thinking and my question is basically this, that the nature of digital is collaborative, and in the UK during COVID, the government's awarded billions of pounds worth of contracts. What's the situation with government and large kind of buyers in South Africa?
Dylan?
Very, very, this is a difficult one to answer because it all comes back to opinion and what we see. Tenders in South Africa, unfortunately, are laced with corruption generally.
Really?
So, generally. So, I won't go too deeply into that, but that's a common,
Jonathan, I think
generally it's a buddy of a buddy.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Dylan. I think at the end of the day, companies take a view in terms of which markets they want to be in, who's got lots of cash, and in many ways, sometimes it's government because they just print money around the world. But how quickly does government actually pay you at the end of the day? Because that's what's important.
That's a big.
A sales
That's
only
very
takes
important.
only takes place when the money's in the bank. You can do an invoice, but then you can wait 90 days, 180 days, or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. So
We,
it's in individuals' preferences. There are a lot of people that are skilled in all those tenders, in the tender market, and have done very well in terms of facilitating certain business services to governments, not only locally, but I think globally. So it's part of your overall business strategy to look at where you position, how you position, and what you actually want to get out of it at the end of the day. Some people can wait a long time for their money. The sales cycle is long. In today's world, I think the sales cycle is going to get shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
So the issue of speed, and then I always like to bring in the story of Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One dude from England. Why is he so good? Speed. There's a number of things if you have to break down and do a case study. And speed is going to be the issue, I think. The velocity, the speed of doing things in a collaborative way with competitors who are going to move at the same pace as you. It's fascinating.
I would agree, and yes, as Guy says, the problem with the payment terms, you can sit waiting 90 days for your funds to come through, and generally that goes to a different set of companies, bigger companies a lot of the time that would get that are able to charge the premium because they can wait for the cash flow, and then would possibly collaborate with smaller companies and you can pay a lesser amount for that because they can carry that overhead and wait for that cash flow. So definitely, that's all about your business strategy. Who are you selling to? Know your customer.
Okay, Guy. Sorry.
I look about 2 months ago. Top 40 businesses in South Africa got together and they said, we must make sure we pay the SME, the small business and the micro within 30 days. Let's use some common sense and initiative. They should have been doing that years ago, months ago. They do it 6 or 7 months into COVID. So, that personally, I like to support the small business owner and the small businesses, and they come out with that, and it's big news over on the news and in LinkedIn, etc. Personally, it peed me off. They should have been doing that all along, trying to help the SME market grow. And those top guys all know it's cash flow. They know it's all cash flow. So, why come 9 months, 8 months after COVID?
I think that there's a lot of people that would like to be seen as being doing the right thing. But you're quite right. This is a practice that's been going on since I sold for Yellow Pages nearly 20 years ago. And people were doing it then. It's just one thing that occurred to me that might be helpful for your connections, your network, and that is that don't be afraid to ask outside South Africa, because I think that the fact that you've been at such a low spot for a long time means that there's only growth available.
Yeah, and look, on that note, a lot of companies do look. I know businesses that are looking in America and the UK for funding. Angel investors or venture capitalists, and if you look at the exchange rate, it's 20 rand or thereabouts to £1. So it's favourable from that point of view.
Indeed.
And there's always a number of opportunities that flow from that.
Cool. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with our solutions and ideas and tips. Everyone wave goodbye. Some very interesting ideas there on collaboration, and clearly we're going to need to find new ways of working whatever the operation is. Tomorrow's our final episode, and we're going to look at some ideas of how you can actually be successful in the marketplace as it presents itself to us now, and tips that you can take forward and make happen straight away. See you tomorrow.